everybody, Catfish Jones here. It is a beautiful Wednesday. I think it's the 19th of July today. Correct me if I'm wrong. Heck, maybe I'm right. Thought I would bring to you today a song that I've carried in my pocket for a long time. Even as early as 2001, I think we were playing with this little riff, and that means it came with me to New Orleans when I spent some time there, and I played it in a different version than we play now at Normal Reaction, and have played for a while with Normal Reaction. It wasn't really until I came back and really started working again with Mississippi Fuzz at some of this old song catalog and putting some new stuff together that we came up with what is currently the song called Moving Around. But I wanted to also touch on some of the songwriting process that we use that, for us it's about catching a unicorn. It's about, grasping at something that's already there, mythical, it's hard to get, and walking away at the end of the day with that in your possession. So for me, there's no one way to look at it. I've certainly had instances where I said, hey, I want to write, I don't know, a rockabilly race car song, and that song writes itself. I've had instances where I came up with these great lines and said, wow, that's a song, I got to figure out how to put some music to that. And the vice versa of that, where I came up with this awesome music and said I got to write songs to that, or words to that. So they come any way they can, and you really just got to be perceptive to when a new thing is coming and try to capture that unicorn, really try to get as much of it as you can in a memorable state, so you can play it again later and see if it still gives you that same little sizzle that a good song really does. And then try to identify what that sizzle is. What gives you that sizzle? Is it this or that, or the interplay of this and that? And there's different kind of things there. So that's a little bit on my thought process with this song. Like with some of them, it came from a visual aspect, and for me, that's just sometimes the chord shapes where I'm just sitting here playing and looking at my hands, and then just changing one thing, and then this whole thing just kind of became its own little thing. And I tried a lot of different things with it, because this was the kernel. What I call the kernel is like, when you walk away from capturing that unicorn, you kind of have this idea, you don't know what it is, but you know what is there that you're going to keep, or, that is keeping you going on it. And maybe you get rid of all of it, but it builds towards the end goal. And for me, that was this part right here. And like I said, I took it to New Orleans and played some different stuff. How'd that one go? The sun, I was on my lawn, Saturday morning and Friday's gone. La 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 which is its own little thing in itself, and according to Northern Blues, the rules, it says that I can use that as many times as I want in as many different variant forms, and I intend to. That might be its own thing on its own little old songs type of output, but the song that we came up with that we call Moving Around is its own number itself as well. And this is something that Nate and I worked on, Mississippi Fuzz and I worked on consistently over a long time, to get all of the pieces in a way that we liked, that worked cohesively and told the same story. We get so far into a song, we feel like we got to change it up with the bridge, and for the longest time, the bridge on this one, was just musical, and we had to then go into what we wanted that bridge to say, what summed up the whole song in just a few words. And I think we ended up with something great. Like I say, I can't claim 100% writing on this, even though I feel like that kernel followed me around in my pocket for a long part of my life and is one of those songs of my life. The final product that we play with Normal Reaction whenever we play live, and sometimes it doesn't make it on the set list because we have a number to fit in there. It's one that's always a very special one for me. It's called Moving Around because it's about moving around and moving from place to place. And while I feel like in my life I did move the perfect number of times at the perfect times in my life, whether I thought so at the time or not, everybody's had their own little different levels of moving around, whether you stayed in the same house your whole life and never moved, or if you got to move every year or two and never got to establish roots. So it's about all of those things. But for Fuzz and I, this is about, I don't know, just about moving around, hence the name. It goes like this. I don't know if it does go like that. Maybe it goes like this. That's how it goes. And you see a little bit different. The two are very similar. The hand's doing the same thing on the left side. Let's go from here. Sorry, it's a long one. Feels like forever, like a million years, since you showed me some laughter, hidden your tears, and everything changes, sudden and sad, you're making me happy. That I wanted, I already had. Maybe we're different ain't You love to go, love you to stay. How can I catch my pretty baby if she's running away? Things don't seem new here since I've been around. You're helping me up, I'm pulling you down. Moving around, all that I found was all that I wanted, I already had. Maybe we're different ain't bad. Too fast, we're covering ground. Nobody's helped by all of this moving around. I already had. Maybe we're different ain't found was all that I wanted. I already lost, I already had. Maybe we're different, maybe we're different, and different ain't bad. Nah, nah, nah. Alright, so we finally figured out how it goes. That's called moving around, and hopefully a little bit of an insight into the songwriting process that Mississippi Fuzz and I use, and a little bit of fun entertainment for a wonderful Wednesday. A little bit sticky here in the great state of Kansas, so hopefully where you're at, you got some dry air, regardless of the temperature, and you get to enjoy it. It's been a long vlog. I hope you guys don't mind. I'm going to end it right here and wish you guys well. Until next week. Cheers.